So, here's the deal. I was never the biggest fan of Transformers. You know, I saw the Bayverse films, but I never really followed them. I think I used to believe that it was all one movie, and I was just misremembering it every time I saw the new one. Because let's be real, they were all kind of the same. But hey, you know, kind of like the Godzilla franchise, you know, as long as you're having fun, that's really what matters here. And they were fun for a while. By the last night, I think I had checked out. But a few years later, I did decide to see Bumblebee, and I thought that it was a great new direction for the franchise, because they clearly understood that they needed to start out in a more grounded place than where the Bayverse left off. They had the Marvel problem, you just keep scaling up and up and up, keep getting bigger and badder baddies, and you just lose the audience. Ain't nobody give a shit about Kang, okay? And nobody wanted to see Earth become Unicron. That's just stupid. But then I heard that they were coming back with a sequel, sort of, to Bumblebee. No one was really sure. But when the teasers started coming out, I was finally hyped again. G1 designs, old school transforming sound design, sort of, we'll get to that later. And exactly 0 frames of dog humping. This movie looks kick-ass. So I'm leaving for the theater right now. I'll see you when I get back. Alright. Oh, let's go. Hope this isn't complete garbage. Kick-ass was an extreme understatement. Other than Spider-Verse, this was the first movie in a long time to give me those chills of excitement in the theater. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's start with the non-spoiler review. The first part of this video is going to be non-spoiler, second half will be spoiler. When you go to see a Transformers film, let's be real, the only thing you care about is the Transformers in the action. Are there cool set pieces? Good hand-to-hand combat? Am I going to get something that's at least half as cool as the forest fight in the second film? Well, Rise of the Beasts delivers an intensely satisfying action flick without being overdone, like I think many would agree that the Bayverse films did do. They overdid it. It's just a maelstrom of metal clanging against metal. Nobody could tell what the hell was happening. I think 3C Films put it best in his spoiler review. I can actually tell who's fighting who this time. If you've cleared that bar, well, thank God. The Maximals, Autobots, and the Terracons all have unique weapons and abilities, and it makes for some action that really mixes up the formula. If the action is the deciding factor for you, which I think it would be for most people, then this movie has what you want. And it's worth seeing in theaters. Maybe even 3D. Some of that Unicron stuff would look mind-blowing in 3D. On to the human characters. The Bayverse struggled to find human characters that worked. They had moments of charisma, but no one's dropping their panties for Sam Witwicky. Come on. They had no staying power, no emotional growth. Luckily, Rise of the Beasts delivers not only a great action flick, but one that is a bit more emotionally deep than its Bay counterparts. Anthony Ramos plays Noah Diaz, a 20-something who's struggling to find a job to support his family and sick younger brother. Dominique Fishback plays Elena Wallace, a seasoned historian who points the rest of the team where to find the MacGuffin. Elena is pretty good. She plays the role fairly straight, nothing too crazy. It works for the film. But Noah was a real standout for me. This might be my personal favorite human character in any Transformers film. This guy oozes that right flavor of comedic energy and timing that you need for a likable protagonist.
You brought a human here?
I'm nobody. I ain't even seen nothing. I'm not even seeing anything right now.
Oh, he still has an arc. A major character flaw that actually mirrors Optimus Prime, and the film really digs deep into that connection that he has with the Autobots. In my opinion, Rise of the Beasts has the best human characters in any Transformers film. Maybe Haley Steinfeld is on the same level, but yeah, this is definitely a leap and bound better than the Bayverse. I can actually connect with these guys, and I did feel something towards the end when they were getting emotional. I actually did. That is crazy. Overall, the story is somewhat straightforward. You can't ask for too much out of these kinds of films. Find the thing that will take you to the MacGuffin, stop the bad guys, save the world. You know how it goes. But there is enough variation here in setting, and pacing, and structure that I never felt too deep in cliche territory. Should you see this movie? Yes. If you're a fan of the Transformers films, this will likely be the most entertaining one for you by far. There's more of a consistent plot, characters to follow, and connections to be made with the human characters that won't qualify it as just something to put on the TV in the background on a lazy Sunday. See it in theaters, get this kick-ass Optimus Prime popcorn bucket, and have some fun. This concludes the spoiler-free part of this video, and before we get to the spoiler review, I'm gonna throw it over to my colleague and friend, the BC, whose channel you should definitely subscribe to, link in the description. He's here to give his personal ranking of Transformers films. Take it away.
Hey guys, I'm the BC. I don't think you know me, but I'm a film reviewer YouTuber who hasn't made a video in like 2 years, but let's put that aside because Candles has asked me to rank the Transformers movies. Candles might have said that I know about Transformers. That's not really the case. I'm definitely not an expert, but I have seen all of the movies, so I'm going to rank them. Coming in last place is Transformers 4, Age of Extinction. I thought it was abysmal, I thought it was boring, the Autobots are annoying, the human characters are annoying, Mark Wahlberg is a terrible replacement for Shia LaBeouf, there's a weird subplot about the age of consent. It's a terrible movie, it's so long, so boring, so gross feeling. The Last Night is just about as terrible as Age of Extinction was, but it does have a few interesting ideas it plays with, especially tying the Transformers lore all the way back to the stories of King Arthur. I thought that was stupid, but also kind of funny and interesting. And Anthony Hopkins is in it for some reason, and the aspect ratio switches about every 2 seconds. So this movie sucks, but it is kind of funny. I still don't recommend this to anyone. It's super long and boring. In 6th place is Transformers Dark of the Moon. This movie is almost too violent for a Transformers movie, although it does make me laugh, especially when Optimus just executes Sentinel Prime, who's trying to surrender. Yeah, this movie goes weirdly crazy, but it is kind of fun, at least when the action scenes are happening. They did make Shia LaBeouf into a complete douchebag in this movie, and I hated that they replaced Megan Fox. So overall, this movie sucked, but the action scenes were pretty good, and there are some very funny moments. Number 5 is Transformers 2 Revenge of the Fallen. This movie has kind of a soft spot for me. There are some parts that make me laugh, like when Optimus says, "I want your face," and then he rips off Decepticon's face. This is insane. It was so weird and funny, but I don't know, it kind of worked for me. I understand why people sometimes say this is the worst one of the series, but in my opinion, it's so bad it's kind of good. Number 4 is Transformers 1. This movie's actually like fine, good action scenes. I thought Shia LaBeouf did an okay job. Even in the first movie, it still had a lot of the issues that carried on throughout the rest of them, but they are the least egregious in this movie. This movie is like, okay, it's definitely the best of the Michael Bay movies. Number 3 is Transformers Rise of the Beast. It's so nice to watch a Transformers movie that isn't gross, isn't over-sexualized, doesn't have a ton of lens flares. It's so removed from the Michael Bay-ness of it all that it just feels kind of nice and pleasant and fun. I can't say it's an amazing movie. It has the sky beam and it's very predictable, but at least it isn't gross. Number 2 is Transformers the movie from 1986. This movie's insane, like even more insane than some of the Michael Bay movies. They introduced like 10 new main characters who none of them had proper introductions. And I talked to a friend who knows about the original animated series, and he was like, none of those characters are in the series until after this movie came out. So these characters literally do not have proper introductions. But it's still fun. This movie has a huge death count for an animated movie for kids. The soundtrack is awesome. It has Lion's updated Transformers theme and Lion's You've Got the Touch. It also has Weird Al Yankovic's Dare to Be Stupid. So it's a crazy great soundtrack, beautiful animation, awesome action sequences. Again, I can't say much of it makes actual sense, but it is fun. Number 1 is Bumblebee. This movie was great. Of course, it's very tropey. It falls into the misunderstood kid finds big creature and develops a bond. Like, it's basically the Iron Giant or E.T., but it works. It's a good formula, and it works for this movie, and it's sweet, and it's funny, and it's heartfelt, and it's nice and pleasant, and it still has dope action sequences. It just really worked for me. So thank you so much, Candles, for letting me participate in this. You can find me on YouTube as the BC. You can find me on Letterboxd as the_BC, and anywhere else I'm some variation of the BC. So thank you so much for watching, and back to you.
Now for the spoiler review. First order of business, alright, the Maximals. So I really enjoyed Optimus Primal and Air Razor, but everyone else felt a bit flat. I don't know anything about the Maximals at all, because I would never watch that original Beast Wars, but Optimus Primal did have a good character arc, and so did Air Razor. But man, I wanted to see more of Cheetor just because I really like that design. In that first teaser, when that shot pops up on the screen, that's so awesome, but we barely got to see any of him. Basically none at all. Their Transformers forms, we get to see for like maybe 3 seconds of screen time. That is criminal. I really wish they were in the movie more, but if they do make a prequel film or series about the Maximals, I'd be okay with that. Now, the cold open. This movie has a cold open just like Bumblebee, and while Bumblebee's still might edge this one out just a bit, based purely on wow factor alone,
Where's B-127?
this one is still really good. Seeing the Maximals in the future and Unicron eating the planet, very menacing energy, and his voice is awesome. That title card goes so hard, might be my favorite. Ooh, I don't know if it's gonna be better than that first Transformers title card, but it's pretty good. Really good, in fact. This cold open definitely hits the spot and has, I'd say, perfect pacing. That is rare for a Transformers film. For a single scene to have perfect pacing, this one nails it. So, I was fully expecting Mirage to be annoying. Pete Davidson, not super familiar with his work, but he was in Fast X, didn't love him, but didn't really love Fast X, so it's fine. But no, he's actually great. Mirage brings a lot of the more comedic elements, and most of them actually do land. There's a joke about Noah being inside of him and they're not just work friends. That got a good reaction out of my theater. And he is actually very emotional. Pete Davidson can actually pull off an emotional character towards the end. It's a bit more difficult, and kind of a leap in the imagination, but he can do it. I was kind of tearing up towards the end, surprisingly. Optimus Prime's character arc was a great change from the Bayverse. He doesn't like humans in this one, he kind of thinks they're, I don't know, dumb. He doesn't want anything to do with them, unlike the Bayverse films where he loved humans right off the bat. His character arc in this film is loving humans, coming to love them, and respect them as a species. It mirrors Noah's arc of wanting to save his home planet, and I think it's great. Making Optimus more human is what this franchise needs. So remember earlier how I mentioned that I was missing some of the old Transformers sounds? Yeah, I didn't see them, or rather hear them too much in here. Don't get me wrong, this isn't Bayverse like annoying grating metal sounds, but we didn't have the full-on classic Transformer sound effect. I mean, remember in Bumblebee when this happened and we all lost our collective minds?
Ravage, eject.
I was so hoping they'd put more of that in this film, and they didn't really. And I think later on, it would be really awesome of them to just make that the default Transformer sound. Maybe it would get annoying after a while. I don't think so. I think it would be pretty cool. Now, lastly, everyone wants to hear my thoughts on the post-credits scene. Naturally, this is one of the biggest reveals in Transformers history, maybe the biggest. So at the end, you have Noah's character meeting with this government official, and it turns out that he works for G.I. Joe. Now, what the fuck? I have absolutely no connection to G.I. Joe. And after I saw it, I turned to my friend in the theater and said, what the hell did I just see? But again, after hearing 3C Films explain it, and the background of who G.I. Joe is, I think this would be an awesome path to take for the new Hasbro-verse. Think about it. The most annoying part of every Transformers movie is the human characters. I think this movie already did a fantastic job at elevating their place in the third act. But if we can elevate their role even further by making them G.I. Joe soldiers, with unique abilities, that would be a theoretical match made in heaven. I hope they continue with this idea in the future. I think it would be a great change for these films. Anyway guys, that was my review of Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Let me know what you thought of this film in the comments and on our Discord. Join the server to share your art, or share your movie reviews, and you can even request your own outfits. We've got a lot more users in there now over the last few videos. This video was a collaborative effort with the BC. a fellow reviewer on the Discord. He's awesome. Go subscribe to his channel for more reviews like the one you just saw. And, you know, if anyone out there is down to collab, just hit me up and we'll make it happen. For this collab, I drew him a fursona. I do not have to do that for every collab, that is up to you. If you want to collab and just have your own avatar or just have your voice, I am totally down with it. I love doing collabs and I would love to collab with you. Or if you want me to draw you an avatar, I could do that too. This collab could be anything you want. I'd also like to thank once again Tongahiti for the awesome fan art. You rock. Anyway guys, thanks for watching this review of Transformers Rise of the Beasts, and stay tuned for more.